you, give in. Your life is in our hands. It is time to tell us all you know. The sooner you speak, the sooner this will be over with.
Listen, we're not alone. We should approach discreetly.
She's been enduring this punishment for hours, blow upon blow through gritted teeth.
Truly savage beast we have here. Do we even know if it speaks our language?
Leave us.
You will eventually tell us how you found your way into that grotto.
Your defiance is only prolonging the inevitable. You remind me of that rat my master was studying. The creature used all of its fire in an effort to escape. Scratching, twisting, refusing to understand that the cage holding it was its only remaining world. It had everything it could ever need, but it wouldn't stop looking for a way out. Even though its fate was now sealed to serve science. Its animal instinct drove it to flee. It had strangled itself between the bars of its own cage in a final futile attempt to escape. It was an enormous beast and very clever. If it had simply relented, it could have lived peacefully for many years. Instead of that...
How can they do this? This is such a disgrace. Let's talk to them. I may be able to reason with them.
Bit of poison on my...
But I recognize this face. Lady de Sade, what a pleasure to see you again. What good wind brings you?
We've been looking for a woman. In fact, it's the one you have just... Can you explain to me what...
Believe me, we would never have reached such extremity. You see, we have been studying... We call them metamorphs. And we seek to learn through what process the savages hide all of... We discovered one here. This woman... To know we are so... Let's just say it.
It's extremely regrettable.
She won't tell you anything.
Afra?
I am so ashamed. To think that I worked alongside you. You are not sages. You are worth no more than a and you, shame to think that we left our mark.
You are unfair. You know that deep down
Then prove it.
Free her now! We shall leave. Nothing more holds us here.
How are you feeling?
Better now. Those Renaigse are absolute monsters. But who are you?
We were told it when she...
I waited alone.
You believe that...
No. But he came here. You saved me. The Cave of Knowledge is a bit further north. Here is the entrance to the... I hope that Vinbar has left a clue to where he went.
Is it your wish?
He is my Munundanem. We must be reunited.
I understand.
The caverns of knowledge are...
But you are not a Dunning.
I am not. But I must enter in spite of everything. Even if I am not... Remind yourself that this honor...
Put your fears to rest. How do we enter?
Allow me. I have seen Vinbar.
Paint of this fresco is still fresh. It must have been painted recently. It's of a crowned man. Vinbar, no doubt. It looks as if he is walking through the skies towards the volcano. A face has been painted on the volcano.
The spirit of the mountain. My heart did not betray me. Vinbar has readied himself to join Enon Milfrichtemen.
Was that... position?
To understand, yes. And more distant. At first, it was due to his status, and the invasion of the Renaigse. But now I see that he was hearing the call of Enon Milfrichtemen. He had no choice but to answer it. Oh, Vinbar, why did you not share this with me?
These paintings are older. This looks like it represents a man who transforms himself into some kind of enormous bird.
He is a Denegad, becoming a Nadaig Meneman. Vinbar was also bound to the mountain. It is no doubt the path he has chosen to follow.
If I understand correctly...
Yes, but how could a guardian of the plane...
Do you believe that Vinbar is readying himself to...
For some, it takes... For others, it might... I hope only to have...
Given how well hidden this seed was, it must open an important passage. All we have to do is find out which. This mural is also ancient. It seems that this door...
The Donegadas.
Yes, I have run in. But here, there are two. For one, the flower motif.
This is possible. The cavern... This painting must teach the younger.
In that case, shouldn't there be an illustration?
The initiates also learn.
On this one, we see a sacred site. We also see a path that leads there.
This must certainly be the path the young apprentice... And the Donegada...
Do you recognize the place?
I think so.
With all that we have learned from studying these paintings, I just hope there is still...
What do you hope?
We hope that he will...
What do you hope to... My head spins.
Please, go ahead.
Am I the only one to think this woman's departure is suspicious?
This door is locked. Sarah has put us in a very tricky situation.
We should have noticed that she did not trust us. Well, let's search. There must be another exit to this cave.
Traps weren't here when we went through with Sarah earlier. Let's hurry and find this passage to the northern mountain before she decides to come and fight us directly.
A bit of poison on my blade. Then let's go!
Watch out! Grenade!
This fate.
This is the place which was depicted on the mural in the Cave of Knowledge. In fact, Vinbar visibly went through this passage not long ago.
Ward off this fate!
Finally. We've made it to high ground. Now, let's find this trail to the sanctuary. It can't be far from here. Bloodied feathers.
They are extremely long. I know of no species of bird that sports such plumage.
Looks like Vinbar must have begun his transformation. He will soon become a guardian of the mountains. More of these giant feathers. We're on the right trail. Over there, more feathers. More of these giant feathers. We're on the right trail. We found the entrance to the sanctuary. I hope he'll agree to help us. All that remains is to find a way to get in. This must be the entrance to Vinbar's sanctuary. But it is obstructed. He knows how to protect his home. A stone altar. It resembles the one that protects the passage to Mev's sanctuary. This must be where I need to place the seed. And here is another altar. Are 2 seeds necessary to open the passage? How can we learn which plant seed is required?
You don't just reveal the secret to your hideout, unless it were to the person you loved.
You are right. We need to find this Sarah. The seed that I have is not enough. I need to find Sarah. She might be able to help. Let's return to the village. Sarah doesn't seem to have returned to her village.
You might as well try and swim the Great Sea.
We must find Constant. Sarah doesn't seem to have returned.
You might as well try and swim the Great Sea. They won't tell us anything.
We must find Constantine. The High King can wait.
poison on my blade. And let's go! Bit of poison on my blade. And let's go!
Watch out! Grenade!
This is the camp that Constantine's escort must have established.
Someone or something attacked and tore everything to shreds. This seems all too familiar.
Search the area. Let's see if we can find any clues as to what happened here. This area has been trampled. An entire stampede passed by here. Our soldiers must have fled the area and taken this path followed by their assailants. This is a sacred place of a native cult. No doubt this is where Catasac and Constantine were going. But there are bodies, and without a doubt there was fighting here. Search the place. Let's see what we are able to find. The corpses of both men and beasts. These soldiers fought dearly to the end. Neither Constantine nor Catasac are amongst them. A crater. Without a doubt caused by an explosive potion. The soldiers might have been carrying them. They must have been desperate to have taken such drastic measures. This blade is a native ritual knife. And this bowl contained a potion. Someone wanted to perform a ritual here. Could Catasac have found a better means to alleviate Constantine's symptoms? Constantine and Catasac must have been visiting this place. Perhaps performing some sort of healing ritual. When the attack took place, the soldiers intervened and many fell during the fight. But a group escaped down this path. We need to continue following their tracks. More tracks. Footprints. The ones who got away fled this way. Strange. These trees look half calcinated. As if they were exposed to immense heat. Another burnt tree. This path seems to have been scorched. That our soldiers could be carrying so many explosive potions. New footprints. It looks as if a group met up with them and took this path. There was more fighting over here. There are not only corpses of our own men. Where could these other soldiers have come from? More signs of explosions. But what were they doing with all these explosives on them? There are footprints. Only a handful made it up here. The path stops on this overhang, and despite signs of a skirmish, I can't see any sign of Constantine or Caesar.
Watch out! Grenade!
Let's see if you can ward it.
These rocks were broken, as if they had taken cannon fire. But what could have happened here? I recognize this sack. It's my cousin's. Oh, Constantine. What have you gotten yourself into again? These vials look familiar. Katasak used the very same to stock his potions. He came all the way here. I'm going to pick them up. I don't recognize these men. Still more unknown soldiers. Could they have been responsible for the attack? This one is carrying a letter. Let's see. According to this note, this troop came from an outpost of the Bridge Alliance close by. A patrol, no doubt. Could the bridge be in some way linked to this attack? That makes no sense. Very well. Let's sum things up. Constantine and Katazak definitely came through here to perform an attack, obviously. And then there are these traces of
No colonist understands how to control the fauna.
We believe that Katazak could have...
Who else? You know all too well.
He would then have only... Regardless of who is guilty, I must... Perhaps we could return to when Xavier... Katazak may have returned. We are also going to have to visit them. Their soldiers participated in the combat. Or at least the end of it.
And you think that they would have taken Constantine? But if you suspect them to have participated in the combat to capture him, I think you're wasting your time. I know the captain of that outpost. A pessimistic man who would never order an attack without being absolutely certain of total victory without losses.
Perhaps. Unless he was simply obeying orders. It does belong to the Coin Guard, after all. However, one way or another, Constantine is in danger. Let us be on our way without further delay.
poison on my blade. And let's go!
I've heard stories of your exploits. Thank you for all you've done. It's unusual for us to be offered aid by a Renaigse. It seems my Tiern was... How can I help?
Katazak has
What? But my Tiern followed you to help you. How would I know?
I don't know exactly what happened. Their escort was attacked.
And you believe that the Tiern has taken your cousin? Your heart must beat in shadow to believe that the...
We have completely misunderstood each other. Your master appeared to me a good and generous man. But isn't it possible that he would have wanted to hide with my cousin if they were wounded? What if they hid themselves somewhere and are in need of help? I beg you, we must find them.
You are right. My master would have done so, but I do not know where he can be
There may be a way. I found these vials of potion on the...
They could very well. No, they are not his. This potion does... I do not know this smell. Another Donegad must be implicated. But none that I know. Who would attack the water that heals? The earth that feels?
Yes.
When you have discovered...
I have to go.
Quite away limbs.
my blade. Then let's go!
Colonials? You must have gotten lost.
De Sardet. I am legate of the Congregation of...
A legate? Pardon my dismay, but we don't get Captain Idris. I am the... What can I do for you?
I am looking for
A
Constant.
governor? Here?
My cousin was part of his men and his camp, but we found no trace of his body. Wounded and holding up some.
Have you cast your suspicions in our day? We've had neither reinforcements nor supplies for weeks. I wouldn't risk the few lives remaining to attack. I'm not crazy. I'm truly sorry for your cousin, Excellency. But we haven't seen. The region is dangerous.
You do know that we found the bodies of several...
How could you be sure?
One of them was carrying a note, signed by your hand.
And they are dead. I had hoped they'd have survived and would eventually return.
Explain yourself, Captain. What were your men doing?
They were monitoring the zone. We have lost too many men to surprise. Yesterday, we heard screams and saw some...
And you didn't go and... You hear screams. Certainly.
So the last of my men give up their lives for nothing. You can think of me as a coward if you like.
Why do I have the feeling that you're...
Captain, my name is Af. I passed by this outpost with my fellow scholars.
The Lost Expedition.
Her Excellency was able to...
Her Excellency has...
I'm casting no stones at you. You are isolated. You have the feeling that the powerful of this... But a life hangs...
One
A survivor.
He wasn't able to say a word. Our nurse sits with him, but... his wounds are...
I'm sorry to hear.
Go and see the nurse. Perhaps you can do something to... I can't take it anymore. Anything else?
I need to be going.
I would very...
What are you doing there? This...
I know. I've come to see...
That is very kind of him.
What are you saying?
No, but I've been asking the captain for weeks to... I no longer, and now that we have a wound...
Do you know what...
Yes.
I see.
Were you able to concoct...
Yes, I will.
Give it to me. We must wait.
Will he make it?
I hope so.
And if he survives?
Come back tomorrow at...
Very well.
See you soon.
Hello, soldier.
Better. A lot.
Could you tell me what...
I will try. They're not really memories I'm fond. We were posted up on the peak, and we heard sounds of fighting not far from our position. Men were screaming. In our own language. So we went to see what was happening. Soldiers of the Coin Guard and an islander were trying to protect a young man. He seemed dire ill.
Konstantin Katasak and his escort. Who were they fighting against?
Dozens of wild animals. They seemed completely enraged and intent on devouring them. And there were flames.
Flames? Where were they coming from?
I don't know. My friends and other soldiers fell one after the other. I didn't see everything. All was blood and confusion with beasts and fire. But I thought I saw another islander. Big. There was practically no one left on the battlefield. I came to when I heard voices of islanders. I thought to myself, they're coming to finish off the wounded. I dragged myself here.
I'm going to have to go and...
You shouldn't do that.
That's enough. Rest.
Yes, I'll have a word with...
Excellency, thank
Please,
you.
yeah, my cousin's a strange...
One of those rebel savages. They must have learned at an important...
Don't apologize.
Like your freed us, thank you.
I need to be going.
Poison on my blade. And let's go!
Hello. Renaigse, there you are again. What do you...
To speak to you about my cousin's capture and a soldier from the nearby outpost survived.
You dare come? Let me throw him out this... May they
I know that you see us as your enemies, but we are not here to harm you. I only seek to find the man I consider to be my brother, as well as the man who was protecting him. Katasak, one of your greatest Donegad.
No Donea Exregal would attack Katasak.
If you didn't attack him, you must know what happened to them. I was told that an islander took my cousin away. Perhaps your men were there to aid them.
We do not have your cousin, and we do... As for Katasak, and the worst, Tire, He died from his wounds. That night, we heard the sounds of a terrible combat. We went to see. The last breath of Katasach had returned, and many of the Renaigse. We carried the body of the Done.
He gave his life to protect Constantine. May he rest in peace. This request might surprise you, but we would like to see him.
Why? What do you want to do with him, Renaigse?
Examine him, to understand what killed him. We were told that an island native was there, and that he likely led the attack.
No Donea Exregal would attack Katasach. You have been lied to, or they were mistaken.
That is the very reason I need to see his body. To understand.
You may see him. But if you desecrate his body, you will pay for this offense with your life.
Katasach. Seeing the state of his body, I hate myself for having suspected him. Forgive me, Donegad, to have doubted your loyalty. And even more for what we are about to do. Now then. Let's see what story this corpse has to tell.